This is the KoperCrabb Podcast.
I'm Cheney Crab.
Naveen Copperweiss in the building, y'all.
If you guys want to grab some KoperCrabb merch, of course, go to ourbigcartel.com/KoperCrabb. If you would like any ENTHEOS merch, you can grab the limited edition stuff through our Big Cartel, which we send out ourselves at bigcartel.com, ENTHEOS official, and you can also visit our regular store through Night Shift. If you guys want to call in and hear yourself played on the podcast with a question or comment, you can call the Golden Lobster hotline at 615-420-7342. And we have some upcoming tour dates with our band ENTHEOS with OCEANO and Worm Shepherd. That's July 29th in West Chicago at the WC Social Club, July 30th in Minneapolis at Skyway Theater, the 31st Indianapolis Emerson Theater, and then August 2nd, Frederick, Maryland at Cafe 611, August 3rd in Pittsburgh at Preserving Underground, the 4th in Albany at Empire Underground, the 5th in Horseheads, New York, which we've never been to or heard of, at the L, and August 6th in Brooklyn at the Meadows, and August 7th in Columbus, Ohio at Ace of Cups. We also just announced we're playing Kentucky Irate Fest on Friday, August 26th. I believe OCEANO is playing that Saturday, so go all weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, without further ado, our guest this week is Adam Warren of OCEANO.
Hey.
Yo.
What's up, man?
Yeah, just getting ready for a tour again. Fuck.
Yeah. It's been a while, right?
Yeah, it's weird to realize that it has been a while.
So is this your first tour back since before the pandemic?
Yes.
Holy
Okay.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we just went through that. We did a tour. It was a lot longer, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's weird being on tour again. I'll tell you what.
But fun.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's the best thing ever. But the tour that we just did, so it was 30 days long, but there were 20 dates in the States and 10 dates in Canada. So it was really like all of the drives were 6 or 7 hours long.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So the good thing about the run that we're about to do, which, okay, how do you feel about this before we go into it? Do you think this is called a run or a tour?
Technically, it would be a run, I think.
I think
Yeah.
so too, man. We're like, so when you go out for a weekend, you can't call that a
We've
tour.
kind of on the podcast, it's kind of like a running joke that we like make fun of people when they say they're going on tour, but it's for like 2 days or like the weekend or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could not eat for the whole weekend. You know what I mean? You could like forego eating. You know, so if you wouldn't like die of starvation, it's not that long
in
of
the
a time.
time, then yeah, it's not a tour, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about the tour that we're about to go on is that the drives are very short. And
Plush.
yeah, you
Yeah.
know how that goes. It's like then you can kind of enjoy your day and it's not just driving and getting no sleep because whatever you're driving is keeping you up at night. And yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely was the way I wanted to do it personally. Ease into this.
Is that kind of what this run is? Kind of just like a warm-up type of a vibe?
Yeah, I definitely wanted the band to kind of come back with something that had a little less pressure, but also kind of control the narrative of why we're coming back, and the whole reason is because we fuck with the people that fuck with us, So
Yeah.
I figured it'd be cool to go back to the roots of the band and just start regional. And and basically build the band back up in a sense, from home base, and then and outward from there.
Okay.
Well, so when was the last tour that you guys did?
The last one we did it was 2 runs back to back that then created a tour for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. That's like
That's a
tour
tour.
math.
Yeah, that's a tour.
Yeah.
Music
yeah,
math.
we did a short run. It was us, By the Thousands, Scumfuck, and Gamma Sector. And then we rolled that into it was us and Born of Osiris and Car Bomb, which was tight,
Okay.
and Last 10. Yeah, so that's what we kind of set that up so we could roll into Boo.
Got it. And that was like
when
in
was that?
2019 or something.
Yeah, that was right. We ended right before all the tours started getting canceled in 2019, and then we just kind of chilled.
So were you like consciously taking time off from the band, and then everything just kind of happened in 2020 along with that, or?
Yeah, we were ready to go. We were pretty much getting ready to do maybe like an EP, an album, something. Just release music. We were gearing up to just take the usual break during the winter and then get back at it. And then all this pandemic shit happened. So figured what better time to take a break and recharge and just live a normal life for a bit. And I definitely took advantage of that.
So how did it feel because I guess you guys have probably toured quite a bit since the band started. So, I mean, I know a lot of guys that are been in bands longer, and then they've been basically on tour for whatever, 10 years, and then they had time off. I know some of them went like insane, and some of them did pretty good. Like, how did you feel about not touring for that long?
I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Same. I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah, it was just nice to get into other things that I'm into and like have plenty of time to do that uninterrupted and still be able to do music. Still could do music just the same, just not travel.
Totally. And I think like for you, to me, you were one of the first people that I heard of doing the whole Twitch thing in the first place, like way before any of that stuff went down. And then once it happened, a lot of people were kind of switching over to Twitch because it was the way that they could still, be musicians or do whatever. So you kind of had like, I'm right about that, right? You had done that for a while before 2020 happened, right?
Yeah, I was doing a different thing than I do now, but I was doing it. I was doing like a character basically called like Black Mario. So I started that in like, I don't even remember. It'd been like probably like 4 years total at the point when I ended it and rebranded my thing to just myself.
Okay.
So I was doing like for 4 years up until now. So just experimenting with a lot of stuff. I definitely wasn't doing music. I was trying to do something far away from music and just creative and just learn and just fuck around with multiple cameras and
totally.
For sure.
Switch, trying to learn like script and stuff just to like switch scenes and do all this crazy shit. I was like on some like mad scientist shit.
Like that It's Always Sunny meme. That's when he's like sitting in the room, that's you at Twitch. But so were you doing like video game type stuff then, or?
Yeah, it was a mixture. It was a mixture of like, if you know Dr. Disrespect, he definitely was a big influence on that approach, like just creating an alter ego for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I did, but it was super in line with like Nintendo's vibes. So like retro games and a lot of modern Nintendo stuff. And then really that was it. Yeah, I would sprinkle in modern, like, I maybe played like a zombie shooter here or there, but it was pretty much Nintendo retro game stuff.
That's cool, man. It's like video games have never really, like, the extent of my video gaming is playing like Grand Theft Auto 4, but it's cool that there's this whole like thing out there that exists where people are watching other people play video games, because when we were kids, or when I was a kid, I'm 33. So when I was a kid, it was still kind of looked at as video games were like not a life enhancing thing that you could do. You know what I mean? But now it's like...
Yeah, not viable.
Yeah, not viable. But it's so fucking cool that it's become like this huge thing. And Twitch really, like, there are so many people who have just made a shitload of money, made a bunch of friends, and, made huge communities off of this thing and gotten paid and gotten jobs through something that no one thought was possible back then.
Yeah, it's a new era of entertainment.
Totally.
Yeah, it's. I think it's really crazy, and it's also harder for like people in bands that are like a little bit mid 30s, maybe a little bit older, to try to like figure all that stuff out. I've noticed that there's kind of people who are like, hey, this is pretty cool. I'm going to like get into it and like see what I can do in there. And then there's also people that are just kind of like, oh, this is stupid. Like, back in my day, we used to hit the road or whatever. But I honestly, for me, like I've said it a bunch of times, but like I always thought it was cool. Like when Job for a Cowboy came out and stuff, and that I was like, dang, they got big before they went on tour. That's sick. Like,
yeah.
I wish that we had a thought of that. I'm way not smart enough to think of that. For me, it's like, you go and play in front of people and try to win them over. But I mean, I thought that was super sick when they did that. So I feel like I'm usually like behind the curve as far as tech goes, but it's just something that I've been trying to get better at for sure. And I think with the whole pandemic, it gave us a chance to do that.
Yeah, it did.
So do you kind of feel the same way? Like, how did you feel about when the tech thing got kind of big? Because I know you guys were kind of were you guys pre MySpace, or was MySpace
like right on MySpace days.
Okay, so did you guys use that a lot back in the day?
Oh yeah. MySpace was a big factor in OCEANO popping off early in.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is how I heard about OCEANO back in the day. I mean, I can't remember if that's how I heard about you guys. I know that I saw you a lot because you guys were from Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So bands like you guys and Veil of Maya and Dead to Fall and even After the Burial, because they were and Born of Osiris, and After the Burial was from Minneapolis. So all of those bands I like, including you guys, I got to see before you were like signed to a label. I don't know if you were signed to a label. I think you were on Earache before, right? Is that...
Yeah, we were touring a bit, doing regional stuff off without a label and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, those bands I saw, so I can't really remember if I heard about you on someone's top 8 or...
Oh yeah, because you were
kind
of like nearby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
So do you live in Chicago still?
I do not, but I like to keep secret where I live now.
Fair enough.
That's
well, without divulging where you live, was there a reason for moving out of Chicago?
For moving out of Chicago, I originally moved out of Chicago for quote unquote love, but it didn't work out. But that's okay, because
of course
I didn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing any shit that I'm doing now without leaving home. Just new perspectives, new experiences, meeting new people. I think that's definitely necessary, just as much as like touring. Touring is the same thing. It's like it opens you up to a lot of cool new experiences and stuff.
Yeah, really.
Even if sometimes your fucking van shits out on you and you're left on the side of the road, it's all part of the process.
I mean, all of those things really suck while they're happening, but they make really good stories later on down the road. I mean, on the tour we just did, our air conditioning went out as we were driving through the South, of course. It was like a day off between Texas and Florida. So the worst drive through New Orleans. And our air conditioning was out the entire day. And, it's just a part of the tour that I remember now. Yeah. That's a funny story. And
sit back and laugh at it.
Yeah, dude. And it's shit that you share with people that you love. So those days are just as important as the best day ever that goes the best way. So back to, how are you feeling about getting back on tour?
I feel kind of like indifferent at the moment. I think by the time I'm at rehearsals, it'll start setting in like, okay, we're getting back to it. But I don't know. I think I'll definitely feel nervous the first day, because it's just anxiety at its best for a first show back. I always have like the coolest shows with the band on my comebacks. So like, it's with Lorna Shore. So like, okay, we're going to play our home show, first show back at home with like the biggest band in deathcore right now. Great. Okay. That's my first show. Cool. Okay.
That kind of sucks that it's the biggest show.
I know though, that our first show was we played Portland on the last tour we did, and it was sold out. And it's like, oh man, that kind of ups the ante. I feel like those are almost the best performances when you have those nerves, but you choose to like overcome them, and you're like, I'm going to fuck this shit up right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was literally fucking horrified walking around at that show, dude.
I know,
Like
it's like
a bunch of our friends were there, like at the bar, and they were all like having fun. Like, yeah, we're so stoked to see you guys. There's shows again, you know. And I walked up, and I was just like, I can't do this. I can't be around these people. Like, they're hyped, and I was just freaked, dude. I had to go like sit alone and just like stare for a second.
Oh man.
But honestly, it's one of those things like I'll be super nervous, and then as soon as we start playing, it's just like, yeah, we're good.
Mhm.
We're back. Let's do this. And then honestly, tour after that first show, it was kind of just like, all right, yeah, we're back on tour, and it felt normal.
Oh yeah, it comes back really quick. It's not.
That's good.
I mean, you know, it's that thing. Like, not everyone can tour, but once you tour and you're really about that lifestyle, it just never really leaves you.
Yeah, definitely.
And you've like gone on tour with bands and done merch and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I worked for Lorna Shore because they're homies. I wanted to get the fuck out of I wanted to get fuck out of town for a minute. So
Okay.
I worked for them and did merch. It was pretty cool. I actually made a lot in tips. So thanks everybody who tipped me.
Oh,
on
dude,
that
that's
tour.
what's up.
Did you get recognized a lot?
Yeah, for that, totally. I was in the house of deathcore. You know, it was like Chelsea Grin, Lorna Shore, Ocean's 8 Alaska tour. You know, like definitely that was probably a good selling point for Lorna as well. You know,
They're like, what are you doing here, Ben?
yeah, yeah.
I know, that's actually really smart.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, from a like selling merch perspective, get someone who people recognize,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna be doing well in tips, so they're not gonna be mad,
I know.
and you're gonna be selling more merch, man. That's what it's all
Yeah, it was
about.
fun.
Yeah. So was that like, I've always wondered what that's like. I've never been on tour working for a band. I've kind of wanted to try it at some point. It seems like it'd be fun because you're just like, I don't really care what happens. Doesn't matter to me. I'll just fucking go home. If you know, you're not like in,
Yeah,
like, for us, I'm like, you know, in charge, and it's like
right.
I'm responsible for everything
Yeah,
happening.
that was definitely nice to not be having any type of. I'm not making any big calls here. I'm just reporting to somebody. You know, making sure the money's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And you're not attached to like, how much did we make tonight? You know,
Yeah.
are we going to be able to pay this bill or that bill? Like,
Seriously.
Yeah.
there's none of that going on. It's just kind of like, I mean, I did merch for Animals as Leaders like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And it was my first time ever doing merch on that scale. So it was kind of, and it was in the middle of summer. So it wasn't the most fun I've ever had on tour, obviously, but
And there was like 10
You know.
people in our van, so that's a little.
there were
little
10
different.
people in our van. Yeah. But there were no strings attached for me, and it wasn't, I mean, I would do it now because I know a lot more about just the entire thing, you know? I wouldn't, I don't think I'd actually mind doing it. I mean, I sell merch for our band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Are you selling merch for your guys' band on this tour?
No.
Because I think that oh wait, no, you were not selling merch on, because our first tour, ENTHEOS' first tour, was with you guys. And
I think they had Josh, right?
no, Brian. I think you guys had Brian
yeah.
on merch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but you're just, I feel like you're at the merch table more than most people are.
I often have been.
Yeah.
Either that or I usually like to do things. I'm like always doing something. So I figure on this run, I'll probably be also nagging you guys to do like you want to link up and do some like content, you know, for like, we were talking about some social content, some YouTube content. That's probably where I'll be spending my time. Before that, I used to go out like game hunting or just try and go to like flea markets. I always use tour as like a vessel to, I guess, at least get a little bit more involved in my other hobbies too, because
Totally.
the travel is kind of like the free part of it. So
Yeah.
I usually am either chilling with our merch dude, because it's usually a homie. So, you know, it's nice to have friends just kind of come check on you. Otherwise, I'm just doing my own thing, getting into some type of adventure or something.
Well, I think that's important because people may not realize this, but tour can be super boring for musicians on tour. Like, backstage is not what you may think it is. It's not like the 80s with babes and beer and like everyone snorting coke off of strippers, you know? It's actually guys sitting on their phones.
Checking in.
Yeah, just checking in with girlfriends.
Checking in. That's exactly it.
Or no, what we were calling it on the last tour is clocking in.
Clocking.
In.
Yeah. So, it's not that fun backstage. So I think it's important to have something like that. Have other hobbies that you're interested in and try to thrive in those areas on tour.
Yeah.
That's definitely a cool thing.
Yeah. So do you collect a lot of games? I can see behind you there's something really sick going on, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, this is like the ends. I was collecting for like pretty much 7 years, all through. 7 years of touring, 7 years of collecting was what I was doing up until maybe like the last year or two. And I just wanted to get rid of shit, and it was a lot. It was a lot of shit to move if you're moving like all those games. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we just moved at the end of last year
with all the gear and stuff.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, man, this sucks.
Never again. I'm never moving a long distance again. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, but I did collect. I don't anymore. This is just like remnants of a room that was like filled with games. So
okay.
Yeah, but I've kept some things. Eventually I want to get rid of like just everything. I'm just like, I just want to only own like my computer and my computer gear and just be a gypsy or something.
Yeah, go full minimal.
I know. That's like living the dream, man. Living the dream right there.
I know. Having a lot of possessions it's a huge weight.
Yeah,
it is. I never realized it.
Yeah.
Like something that I do now, and I don't do it that great all the time, but when I want to get something, I'll just be like, all right, you know what I got to do? Instead of that, I got to go get rid of something.
Whoa.
Try that out. You know? 'Cause it's kind of a similar feeling. It's like, I'm fresh. Get rid of this crap.
Yeah.
Because I'm like the type of person who I'm like you, I have a lot of hobbies and stuff. So I'm always like, I got to get this, thing or whatever. And I'm just like, why? This is shitty.
Yeah.
You know? And then you have to lug it all across the country.
I know.
When you move.
Even our vinyl collection is pretty minimal. I mean, we maybe have like 150 records, and that was rough to bring across the country.
Yeah.
It's just all of that stuff. In hindsight, I would have just gotten rid of everything, and I feel like we would have a lot less, just period. But you can buy the things that you really need in the long run. I mean, it's just stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to roll minimal on this tour that we do with you guys. I was like, I'm anything that I bring that's not gear has to fit in one backpack. I'm gonna try to roll like that.
Yeah, it's like not too long. You can get away with a smaller pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always like at the end of last tour, I was like, man, this fucking van is like such a wreck, And then like we dropped everybody off at the airport, and they all got out and left, and like the van looked the same. Like the same amount of shit.
It was all
and I was like,
stuff.
oh my God, this is all me and Cheney's. Like, we are not doing it right. Like, this is fucked.
Well, that's something that happens when the van is at your house. You can just endlessly put shit into it. Oh, I'll need this.
Yeah, let me grab this.
Maybe I'll need 6 pairs of shoes. We might go clubbing one night on tour. I'm going to have to bring my heels. It's like a fucking...
I like that attitude, though.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I can find any outfit I want. But the reality is that I wear like 3 things on tour. I switch back and forth between those 3 things and then have stage clothes. And
dude, I brought all the gear that's in this room for the podcast, thinking that I was going to set it up somewhere one day.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like cameras, the all this crap.
We brought a television screen.
Yeah, I was like, I'm bringing the monitor. Fuck it. I was like, why did I bring this shit, dude? We didn't do it one time.
We didn't do it
have
one
enough time.
And imagine if all of that shit would have gotten stolen. Then it's just
a whole other thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm rolling with one backpack and my iPhone, and that's it. I'm going to try it out.
Right. I mean, people are doing now what we're talking about doing, like taking very little items and going and living in a van for however many days. They do that for fun now, and they pay like really good money to do it. But at the same time, it's kind of like the dream, right? You're just you're living like a gypsy, and you're going from town to town. You're meeting new people all the time. You get to play a ripping show, which is like the kind of a cherry on top. But it is a cool life to live. doing the thing.
Are you actually thinking about like rolling around minimal style for a while?
I definitely want to have like a home base, but definitely minimal. Like I am hoping that between tours I can travel a lot, whatever that may be. Probably just to make content, link up with friends, just have a good time. I think, yeah, cooping up during COVID and all that shit was I fucking bunkered down. I fucking was chilling. I had all my games, I had my snacks, I was chilling that whole time. But now I'm just like, all right, I'm sick of this, dude. I'm sick of it. I gotta get out.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of like that too. I can be such an introvert, but I really also like hanging out with people. And like the whole, you learn a lot by hanging out with people and experiencing the whole thing. Both things are great. And
it's especially super sick traveling not on tour. Like, I think it was maybe in 2020 sometime. Cheney and I drove from Santa Cruz, California to Portland, but we did it in like 3 days to get up there. And
we drove along the coast on Hawaii.
So yeah, we drove for like 3 or 4 hours a day only. And it was kind of like being on tour, but it was like so fun. Like I'd never done that before. Never like gone on a road trip that wasn't to play shows.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And dude, I'm telling you, man, it was so fun. Like I was just like, hey, let's just pull over in this town for like 3 hours. Like, fuck it. Whatever. Let's just go get a beer or like get some food. It was, it was really sick. And I really want to, now that we live in Nashville, I really want to do that out here and just like roll around for like a week or something. Because it's, like I said, it's just really cool, especially for people who have toured and not got the chance to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where do you know where you want to travel to?
I don't. I don't. I would love to just like be able to just hop in a car and just, I don't know, just go wherever. Like maybe like have a week to do whatever the fuck. Just make sure that I'm back, wherever I need to be at a certain point in time. I think the touring has maybe made me a little numb, but also a little bit more free to just see where I end up. It's just, I think, we've seen a lot of places, so we kind of are familiar with most big cities, and we can just navigate ourselves pretty well in any place we've been already, right?
Totally. And one thing that touring does is it makes every drive seem a lot shorter than it actually is. Because earlier when I was thinking about bands from like the Midwest, I was thinking of this band called Everest. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
Dude, I fucking loved that band. And they were having vocal auditions and I wanted to try out for the band and I hit them up and was going to try out. But the drive was 4 hours and I hadn't toured before. So to me, being like an 18-year-old kid, a 4-hour drive seemed like it was forever and just totally undoable for me to be in a band and do that whole thing. But now that I've toured so much, a 4-hour drive is like absolutely nothing. I could hop in the car and just fucking do that today and end up in Illinois from Nashville.
Yeah, 4 hours is nothing. Like I learned to time travel in my brain through touring. Like you just like numb yourself to a certain point where it's just like, all right, 4 hours feels like 2, 6 hours feels like 4.
Right.
And what I do is I just pretend that we're never going to get there. That's what I do. I'm just like, I'm in this van forever driving. Yeah. And then eventually you get there and you're like, all right. So awesome.
Then it's dope when you get there. You're like, oh, man.
That's a good tactic.
Yeah. That's my trick.
Yeah.
Because Cheney and I, almost like every tour that we've started, we have to drive for like 4 days, 2 or 3, 4 days.
To get to it.
Just to get
and
to
to
it,
get from it. And we do the drive home alone.
Yeah.
So it's like
the last
super
tour
taxing.
it ended in Vancouver, Canada, and then we took everybody to the airport, and then it was like, all right, let's go. And we drove back, to Nashville.
Yeah, man.
Not a good time. That's what one of the things when we saw the dates for this tour, we were like, let's fucking go, dude. This is sick. Like, finally a tour that's not like, days away.
That's something that I actually really enjoy about living in the middle of the country as opposed to California, where we lived before, because like regional stuff doesn't really happen in California because everything is so fucking far away. You have to drive 8 hours from where we were to get to Portland. To get
I think
out
it's more than that. It's like 12.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're totally right. Yeah. So it's like, I'm really glad to be in the center of the country now where we can do regional stuff like that because we've always wanted to do that. It's just been so hard for us to do. And I think it's kind of important to like build a band that way.
Is your last, is the Kentucky Fest going to be your last thing for the whole outing? For you guys?
Yeah. So we're taking the rest of the year off because we have an album that's like, you know, we're going through all the music video and stuff, doing all of that type of stuff. So we're taking the rest of the year off, and our next tour is in April.
Sweet.
So yeah, the Kentucky thing is our last. Are you guys doing more stuff after that?
Perhaps. I think by the time when does this air? When will this air?
Before the tour, like right before.
Okay.
The tour.
By then,
I think it's like
it'll be announced. It announces tomorrow.
Oh, sick.
So.
Okay, yeah.
Well, who's it with?
Coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. So we're it's Carnifex, Spite, OCEANO.
Okay, dang.
I don't know what the order is from there, but Left to Suffer and Crown Magnetar. It's pretty solid ass tour.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
really
awesome.
solid.
Yeah, that'll be sick.
That announces tomorrow, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right, so it announced 9 days ago. If you're listening to this podcast now. That's sick, man. That's a great tour for you guys. That'll be awesome.
Thanks.
Is it in September or when is it?
Yeah, it's September into October. It's like 5 weeks because Carnifex always loves to do 5-week tours.
Road dogs.
They love it.
Yeah, they're legit. They're like van tour. Let's go.
Yeah.
Get the fucking work in.
Oh, dude, totally. Yeah, they kill it, and they have like a stage production thing going on. Yeah. You know, they have like huge. What did they have, like metal carvings or something when we did that tour with them?
Yeah, they had like.
There was the logos.
Yeah. Those are super
okay.
sick.
Yeah.
And they have fog cannons, also pretty sick.
Dude, yes, and they have a really sick lighting thing going on. Mike does their lights. They rip live.
I hope
that'll be awesome.
I hope it comes to somewhere around here.
Yeah, Nashville.
Jenny and I will definitely go.
I hope so. That'll be sick.
I think it may. It's pretty extensive.
Right. Is it going to Canada?
No, Canada. It's all just U.S.
Oh shit! So it's totally coming to Nashville then. If it's 5 weeks long, that's awesome. Is that the last thing that you guys are doing this year?
No. Then right after that, we go to Europe for Despise Icon Decapitated, and Distant is on it, and Viscera.
Okay,
that's
so you guys
awesome.
are like
fully, right after.
You're fully back. Let's go.
Yeah, it kind of all just all that came together within like 2 months. I don't know like what the fuck happened. It just started with like, I don't know, like we had an offer for the Carnifex thing and we were kind of like, that was it. And then our Gino, who's now our manager, because we didn't have a manager, and I was like, and he's a homie, so we got him on board. He was hitting us up to do the Lorna show, because someone wanted us to get on that, and then from that it turned into us maybe doing a tour around the Lorna show, which is now that tour that we're doing together. And then we're like, well, we should probably take that offer as well. And then Europe, it just kind of came together really oddly, just at just the perfect time, because we were already kind of realized that we had an album's worth of music, if not 2 albums worth of music, pretty much done.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it just timed up pretty cool. So
are you guys tracking an album right now?
Yeah, we're doing a combo between we're recording it at our home bases respectively. We all have like where I'm at, I have a studio, I'm doing vocals. Where Scott's at, he's doing guitars there, Matt's doing drums, and we're all kind of combining it. And that's what we're doing. Yeah, so I'm working on vocals. I think we're like halfway, but we're going to be dropping a single soon. It should be out hopefully by the time this airs as well, if not somewhat soon.
Oh, awesome. Dude, that's amazing. Is this coming out on Sumerian as well?
Yeah. It's a Sumerian release.
Well, so I wanted to, you just mentioned that you guys just got a manager. have you never had a manager before, and this is your first? Like,
oh, we always have. Yeah.
Okay.
It was just, we were kind of just chilling, and we didn't, nothing was happening for like 2 years. So
totally.
yeah, we just picked our homie Gino up, who's been a friend of the band for pretty much since we started.
Yeah, that's sick. I think that people always kind of go back and forth with like the having a manager thing, and no one really knows like when to get a manager, like whether you should do it when you're just starting out or 10 years into your career or whatever. So it's always interesting to hear everyone's take on that.
Yeah, I was gonna try and do I was gonna try and do everything myself and with the help of the band dudes, but I realized very quickly how that wasn't gonna work if I was gonna try and do my own endeavors as well.
Right.
I realized the reason that probably OCEANO got that steam in the beginning was like no one had a life besides the bands. That's all we fucking put our time into, and it's different now.
Yeah, so that's an important thing for you to like have a whole separate thing aside from OCEANO. You're not just Adam the vocalist, you're Adam the multifaceted dude who does a lot of different shit.
Yeah, I would lose my mind if I was just stuck doing one thing. I can't survive with that. I'm a variety type of guy, I guess.
Yeah. Me too, 100%.
Well, yeah, I think that when you are fully like invested in one thing, then when something like the pandemic comes along, you do lose your mind because your whole sense of identity is attached to like this touring person and that one thing. So when it's stripped away, where are you supposed to go from there? It's important to have a bunch of different stuff to be into.
Yeah. I realized like creating other types of music was something that I definitely started diving a lot more into from the break and stuff too, which has made me enjoy and desire getting back to OCEANO and metal a lot more, because it was such a relief just to do lots of different stuff, like scream on shit that usually doesn't have screaming, sing on shit, and that doesn't, just fuck around really and experiment at home and with other like musicians was really cool. That's something I like never did until the last like couple years.
Wow, that's awesome.
Did you put any other music out like that?
Yeah, I did. I dropped some R&B stuff, but I like deleted that because I rebranded everything. But the most recent thing I think that's different from metal is I dropped a song with two dub and bass producers, Keizo, and they're actually two. It's two of them, the AT Aliens. It's like a dub EDM bass type of song.
Sick.
Okay.
I'm trying to listen to that. Is it? Did you scream? Did you scream or sing on it?
Yeah, I'm screaming on it.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so it's really like cool. it's like dubstep, heavy metal kind of mixed together.
That's awesome. Naveen and I both love that
area
of music as well. We're into like drum and bass and all of that type of shit.
Yeah, so. I've always liked it in small doses, only because I hadn't really dove deep into it. But once I started like working on this song with them, I was like, okay, I'm gonna dig a little deeper. I really like oddly, what is it? It's like a trancier type. I like house music a lot.
I like house too.
I've been really vibing on house music and like I don't really know what else to call it. It's like really just trancey stuff that you can just get lost in.
That's sick. I like house when it's done like in a certain way, because there's a certain like DJ Pauly D type of house that's not my thing. Yeah. But there's a certain type of house that's really fucking sick.
More like jazzy house where there's like cool chord progressions and shit like that going on. Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
For sure. I'm definitely way into
Have you been to any festivals or anything yet?
No, I want to.
Oh, that's gonna be the final like thing that pulls you over to that side.
You're like, this is the best thing ever.
Oh man.
So,
It's just go to like a smaller festival. Find something sick and small. We went to this festival called Unce Fest in Northern California. That's like there are probably 2,000 people there, maybe 1,500, and it's like a drum and bass festival.
It's like dubstep and like only like nothing mainstream or pop sounding at all, which was surprising and really cool.
Yeah, Because you
It's like
rarely hear
ultra
that.
underground electronic music for like 3 days, and we like camped and everything. And it was
Sounds fun.
fucking
It's just
badass,
so
man.
fun.
It was really fun.
It's a different vibe than metal
Yeah,
festivals.
definitely.
But metal festivals still have like this awesome vibe where you feel like at one with everyone there. Like it's a brother and sisterhood. It's just a different kind of brother and sisterhood.
I still don't completely feel. I still feel like somewhat of an outsider when I go to like electronic stuff. You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
when I'm at a metal show, it's like, fuck yeah, this fucking metal. You know, like when we're at the Suffocation show. You know, it's like
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm home, dude. You know,
Oh,
bring
totally.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah,
you
I
been
wanna
to
check it out?
Have you been to any shows, metal shows, since this whole thing like picked back up?
Yeah, I was using that as my kind of ease into the whole getting back on stage. I figured start as, just a show goer and just get the whole shit ton of people and just, possibly talking to shit tons of people out of the way and then, get on stage. So I went to like a few. Last one I went to was, I believe, was it like what they call it, Rage Fest? It was Attila, and that's where I met. Actually, it was like 2 shows on the same day. It was Attila, and then also I didn't get to check out most of that show, but and Traders was in town as well. So Attila, it was like Attila, and I know Crown Magnetar was on that. I think Islander was. So I went to that, and I saw a little bit of also. It was like Traders, Scumfuck, Left to Suffer. I think those were the 2 heavy shows I was last at.
That's awesome. Do you kind of go to like more deathcore shows than death metal, or what's your like? What kind of metal do you are you like a part of? Are you into?
I usually lately I try and go to concerts for music that I'm less familiar with or haven't engaged in a lot. Like so lately I've been going to like R&B, rap, Afro beat kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and then I'll usually look out for bands that I just know or like or really, really need to see. Like I saw Gojira for the first time. That was absolutely necessary. And that was fucking sweet. So I like to mix it up more than anything, but usually deathcore side. If I was gonna probably like next time Behemoth, I think they are going on tour. That probably would be the next thing I'd want to go to away from deathcore that I know is happening. Are they going on tour?
I don't know. I don't know.
I guess I get to see Decapitated on tour, so that would be one. I know
that'll be
they're
sick.
doing stuff.
Very
Yeah, that's
sick.
probably one of my favorite death metal bands for sure. Yeah, top 3.
Who are your other 2?
Behemoth, and they've really just stuck with me. We played like a short run with them, and it was really cool. Vital Remains. I really like Vital Remains.
Sick.
Yeah,
we Animals as Leaders toured with them. If you can believe
really.
Yeah,
That's weird.
it was Summer Slaughter 2010.
We were just talking about there's no Summer Slaughter this year. This has got to be like the first, or is there a Summer Slaughter and I just don't know about it? I mean, it would be announced. Well, you gave me you gave me a look, so neither of us are playing it. And I mean, Summer Slaughter is usually announced by now, but that's weird. I think it's the first time in the last like 11 years that there hasn't been a Summer Slaughter.
Yeah,
they did one last year.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did that one.
Or wait, not last year, but the year before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they did.
They did one that everyone was like mad about, right? Because it like wasn't death metal. So
Oh, well, that's
seems
one.
like that seems like every other year.
I know. It's like, well, no matter what, someone's gonna be mad about some lineup.
Yeah.
It's dumb. Just be happy. There's an awesome metal tour happening. Just
Yeah.
go to it, dude. But what kind of like R&B and stuff have you been listening to?
The Weeknd clearly behind me.
Oh, dude,
he
The
just dropped
Weeknd.
something new.
I've been listening to The Weeknd since what was that? It was before he like really blew up.
Yeah.
What was it called? What was the name of it? Why was
I
it
don't know.
escaping me right now? It starts with a T.
The compilation, the trilogy.
Yeah, trilogy,
That,
dude.
Yeah.
The Weeknd fucking rules, and he's such a good singer. And a lot of people like to say that like pop singers cannot sing. But I mean, The Weeknd is clear proof that pop singers can sing and really well, better than anyone else. And that's why they're super famous pop singers.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
It's crazy though to realize that there are still people that do lip sync in like the music industry. And I did not know that until people started showing videos and I was like, no way.
Yeah.
I've heard of like metal bands miming.
Oh my gosh. I wish. I mean, that'd be an easier day. That's for sure.
I know, no energy at all. Imagine that. Then it'd be really hard explaining like why some people's veins pop out when they scream and other people don't.
I'm dehydrated. That's why.
Have you jammed that new Drake at all? That's like a house album.
Yep, I have. I do like it.
Yeah,
I definitely like it.
I kind of didn't like it the first time I heard it. I was like, what's going on here? And then I listened to it a bunch of times after that, and now I totally love it.
Dude.
Straight up.
So good.
I've started to realize artists now, it's kind of moving away from like, staying consistent with like your one sound. It's more like, this is the project that we're doing right now. It's like we're doing a dance project or like a heavier project. I like for instance, like Ghostmane, I think does a similar kind of vibe where it's like we're doing trap metal this, but then we're doing more metal this. I like that where it's like you're more there for what the artist is creating more than it being consistent every time.
Well, I really thought that is cool when artists like hit you sideways and then you kind of have to be like, all right, well, hold on a second. Like, I trust this guy. So let me try to get into this because they obviously know what they're doing. I like that. And I feel like as far as pop goes, like Drake is totally like that. He's just like, here's what we're doing. And you're going to think it's cool. You know why? Because I'm Drake. Fuck you.
The Weeknd very much too. Like The Weeknd and Drake both do that. Like they lead the pack and whatever they do is cool and everyone's going to think it's cool. And I wish that people would embrace that more with metal bands because I think it's fucking awesome when metal bands do something that's a little like off the wall or not something that you'd necessarily expect from them. But there's this whole thing attached to metal where it's like people kind of hear you at one point and may want you to stay that way. But artists and bands evolve, and that's a part of the fun of like creating.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself singing in OCEANO? Because I do know, like, I remember back in the day, like I saw that you singing along to a dude playing acoustic guitar.
Yeah, that was a little acoustic project I did with a friend named Travis. It was just called Trav and Adam Acoustic. Singing for OCEANO, we've trickled it on one album, but I mean, that album's like now some people, I think more people like it than I thought, but I don't think it was properly executed, even if it was like a lighter kind of accent. I don't think it'll ever be like in the forefront, but for instance, there is a song on our newer stuff where technically I am like kind of singing in a sense, but it's more for adding to like the atmosphere in the background. I think I could see that being more the way where it's like, as the vocalist, I start to take over more. I'm trying to take over more of the full on experience, of what you hear vocally more than just me doing, my vocals, the screaming, trying to do more like I'm adding to the ambience of our music just as much as Scott is playing, his parts, his leads and things like that. I think it'll go that route where I'm just using my melodic voice in different ways just to add to the music.
Definitely a cool idea. I like all that stuff that you guys add, like the ambient layers and everything.
Yeah,
so that could definitely be cool getting in there with all that.
So are you talking about doing that with screaming too? Like taking screaming and adding it to layers?
I think that, but also like singing, like just straight ass, like, like I'm doing more, like holding out notes, just holding out certain notes and things like that. Yeah. Or that's where the creative, I think, mindset is for me with what we're doing. Is coming at it more like a voice actor than a vocalist. Totally. Where I'm painting my parts of this picture and adding it in how I see and maybe we don't need, we don't need to use, like samples or anything like that for certain effects. I can just fucking do them, and I think that is way cooler. It gives it more like a fucking Pixar movie type feel, and it's like, okay, you had one or two vocalists do all the sounds and the guitarist do all the sounds. There's no sampling, no, picking and prodding of other pieces, and it's all original the whole way through.
Absolutely. That's something that we did on our new album as well, because we've used a lot of like synth stuff in the past. And there is a part of that that's really awesome, but there's another part of that for us has always kind of been like, well, no one's playing this live. And so it kind of like that is another musician, and it's never fully recreated on stage. So this time around we used a lot of like all of the layering on the album pretty much is just guitar or there are vocal parts and all of that shit. And I think that's really cool because synth is cool and it adds a cool layer, but it's even cooler when it's like being produced by members of the band fully and completely, and the instruments that you see on stage.
I think it's more original, like what you were saying. It's kind of an original sound rather than like, oh, I downloaded this sick plugin. Let's go with it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Do you
a little more fun too?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, dude. It
just sounds more live when it's like, let's layer it up with like guitar, creepy shit, and I don't know. It's cool. I like it. I definitely like became more aware of that, I think, after playing the songs a little more live, because when you're in the studio you can just get like lost and you're just in the studio, so it's like, oh, let's just fly all this shit in there, it sounds cool. But then live you're like, now we're like an iPod symphony. I'm not really like, it sounds
totally
weird. It's kind of stale live,
Yeah. Have you always tracked yourself, or is this the first time that you're doing that?
So I just tracked myself for the pre-pro. And I did that live on Twitch. I felt that would be cool for people that want to catch it. So that's awesome. What I just did. Yeah. If I'm being real, it's not so much the music, but just the process, I think, of writing metal for me over the years has become a little like boring and maybe like not challenging. So I started to try and just challenge myself. And so lately what I do when I write is I just come off the top of my dome. And if it takes 4 hours to write a song, I just sit for 4 hours and I write it in 4 hours and then tweak it later, but that's how I did it for all of the new OCEANO stuff. Is I wrote every single song live, just live. So 4 or 5 hours usually. And I don't think I really changed much, maybe some lines, but pretty much just off the top based on what I was feeling, what the music made me feel. And I just went with that. So, I did it all at home. I wrote it all at home and kind of pre-pro'd at home, but now I'm recording our actual, the actual studio versions elsewhere.
Okay.
Whoa, I think that's a fascinating idea. So it was lyrics and patterns just all on the spot?
Yeah.
Wow. So when you went into that, did you know what you were going to write about at all?
No, I didn't really want to.
Yeah.
It's like some days, there was like maybe one or two songs where I just like woke up and I was definitely like bummed out. And so it just so happened the song that Scott had for me that day to work on stream was like, okay, this song is very fucking sad feeling. So perfect, and it just worked. I kind of just trusted the vibes just to work. And I didn't want to, I was just sick of feeling the pressure of creating an album. So I just wanted to just fuck it. We didn't have a deadline. We were just writing music. And then when I pulled back and I started counting songs, putting them together, I was like, we just did an album. I was like, all right, cool, we're done.
That's fucking awesome.
That's a great way to do it. Cheney, should we do that? Can we do that?
No, that's honestly inspiring. I mean, in progressive metal, like there's a lot attached to like huge storylines, and you're thinking about writing things out for a million years. And I've always come from where you're talking about like a more emotional, lyrical level, but it still takes me forever to write lyrics. Patterns I can do like in a second. Lyrics will take forever. But I think that's just a really awesome exercise to do in the first place. Just sit there with a song, 4 hours, and you're like, I'm going to have this song done by the time we're out of here, no matter what. And I think that things can come off a lot more honest that way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I did the drums on the new album. I was like, I didn't practice or pro anything. And I was just like, let's just record the drums.
Shit.
Yeah, it came out pretty sick.
I mean, we were talking
because I wanted to be flexible, to be able to just like do stuff. I didn't want to be like so in the groove, and then you hear it like in the studio, and you're like, it could have been. I wanted to be able to like be able to change it on the fly, like, oh, let's try that, let's try it this way, let's try like a different beat here or there, and not be like, no, it's got to be this way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that rigid of like going into the studio as that.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it does take away from some of the personality that you can hear in like instrumentation.
And like the magic is like just letting things vibe. That's what I like. Love doing that.
Yeah, because everyone has a style, and when you super edit things like with drums, especially like in metal, you can take away a lot of the style of a drummer or the style of a guitar player by over fucking editing it, and by someone sitting and like overthinking the parts.
Yeah, overthinking it. Like, all right, this part's gonna be on the crash, and then it kind of goes down the line with everything. Like, I don't know. I like it to be. There's a sweet spot between like calculated and super lively. That's where I want to be, right in that middle of territory.
Yeah,
I like that.
What was it intimidating for you doing it all live on Twitch?
To start, but I think I did a lot of like switching my mentality on things, and I just realized that that's what we do is live perform. So this is no different. It's just digital, and I don't have the stress or like have to worry about actually people there. I started to just look at it like this is now the way that I'm performing while I can't do it live. So it's not really any different. If anything, I have more control over everything. And when I started looking at it that way, I stopped really caring about it, and that's when I just started leaning into it. And, I feel, as I've tried to tell kids that have been nervous, to get into vocals or music, it's like we're all creating noise that if we probably threw our family in there, like to meet up with us, they'd be like, what the fuck's going on? Like it's like only we know what this language is that's metal, so it can suck to one person, but to a massive amount of people it doesn't suck. It's something like real and important. So we all sound like shit to somebody is how I look at it. You might as well just fucking go.
So when you're recording on live stream, can they hear the tracks too, or can they only hear the vocals?
They hear everything. I do it through I have my DAW. I'm still learning through Reaper. So I just have everything just right in there. So there's hearing me.
Because I've wanted to do the stream while writing thing, but I'm like, I don't know. Am I like giving it? I have this weird. It's probably like a bad old school mentality of like, all right, when it's done, then everybody can hear it.
Yeah,
what I mean? Because I know that it would be interesting for people to show people like,
of course,
how we do it.
Yeah.
But I'm always like, I don't know, is someone gonna? I guess it doesn't really matter anyway, because it's like only a fraction of those who are gonna hear it are gonna watch the live stream. It's not like everyone who hears the band's gonna tune in. I guess.
Yeah. I think they'll still be stoked for the final product.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's not like they're. I don't know. Did anybody like screen grab some of it and like put it on YouTube or something like that? I don't know. I like worry about.
I did.
That. Okay. Okay. There we go.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of value in putting that stuff out there, whether or not you're giving a lot away or not, because there are people who they get super anxious and they think that nothing they ever do is as sick as what like the professionals are doing, or they're not doing this right or that. And to see someone write a song quickly and kind of just be able to let it go and have no anxiety attached to that, and that you're only changing a few things, that's really awesome for people to see who may be working on songs for a year, 2 years, and never putting shit out. Because like a couple of weeks ago, a kid called into the podcast and was asking us about, whether or not we get like caught up while writing.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's cool to put out there, you know, show what you're doing and show, you know, maybe there are parts where you're getting all caught up on it, but you're still like getting over that and getting a song out in 4 hours.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. For me, as far as for like as a vocalist, I just don't feel challenged by shit. I don't. I think I like a lot of me has like I had a weird transference where I started out as an athlete before a musician, so I bring in a lot of that mentality into, you know, performing and recording, and it's like, what else are we gonna do? You know, like.
Yeah.
We're musicians, we're here to create, and a part of that is it's not always going to be easy. That's why, you know, we're still here doing it, because we've done it a million times. We've hit the walls a million times. That's, you know, that's part of the fucking love of it and the curse of it.
Totally.
I agree. I'm doing it. Fuck it. I'm doing a fucking
I know.
track on Twitch.
You've
Let's
inspired me. You really have
do it.
inspired me. It's like, fuck, dude. I'm trying to write a song in 4 hours.
You two are like you two are beyond overpowered and can conquer anything. We already know what you guys can do. So
Shit, thanks, man.
You guys should not be sweating shit.
But you know, everyone has those feelings, and it's sick. It's sick that you're doing that. It really is awesome.
So you did it on Twitch? You streamed it? That's where you streamed it?
Yeah, I streamed it on Twitch, and then that was kind of part of the strat, was to take a couple of the streams and chop them down, and just to give some people some sneak peeks, you know.
So the streams aren't still there, like it just happened.
No.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I chopped a few, and I'm only two of the streams are YouTube videos. So I think one of them is actually the single we're gonna drop first.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, it's giving me some ideas. I
know.
like this.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're so, the world of Twitch is kind of alien to us. Because
I know.
we
don't do it. Yeah.
We don't do it. We haven't, we don't watch anyone do it. So it's always cool to hear what people are doing on that side of things.
Yeah, we need to do it. I know that we need to do that.
Yeah.
Like, this should probably be on Twitch, I guess, but we just never did it.
I think you guys would be amazing on Twitch, because you have both the podcast, the show that we could watch, and also if you guys are creating together or singularly, like, you know, I feel like you guys have like 3 to 4 different shows, you know, in itself. Yeah. I definitely would watch. I know I fucking would.
All right, we gotta
That's sick. All right, we're gonna figure it out. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We're blowing it. So hold on, I got another question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, do you stick to like a pretty rigid schedule? Because I noticed for myself, like, I mean, this isn't saying much, but like at the beginning of, I don't know, 2020 or 2021 maybe, I was like, all right, I'm going to do one super clean Instagram video a week, you know? And I just like did that for whatever until now, basically. And I saw like a huge, massive amount of growth for me just by doing that like one video a week. So do you have like a schedule with your shit, or do you just kind of do whatever you feel like, or how's that work?
I kind of have a schedule for non-vocal stuff. The vocal stuff, because it's, you know, it's something I love. I just try not to be too strict with it, or I feel I'll just burn out.
Yeah.
But I think with what you're saying, from what I've noticed, I feel that you two, especially, because I know I shared one of Cheney's things, I saw how people were freaking on it. You know, I knew they would. Yeah. I feel like, you know, people like you two and all of these musicians that we're homies with, I think that we have the upper hand on social media because we are proven to be exceptional already. And this, you know, and I'm especially speaking of you two, and I think that we all have the upper hand because we are, like we were talking about with like Drake and The Weeknd, we're kind of setting the pace for what the fuck is happening with the scene. So I feel like if Naveen only posts one sick drum video a week, it's still a sick drum video and it's gonna fucking pop off. You know what I mean? So I've tried to take that approach where it's as long as, you know, it's something that's cool. Yeah, it just whatever, dude. You know, like with the frequency, if it's something that we enjoy, I don't want to turn it into like, you know, like we're one of those the kids in like the content houses. Or something,
that is something I will say about being kind of a IRL person. You know, like I don't that's why I said, all right, let me just do one a week, because I'm like, surely I can do one fucking clip a week. You know, I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
I'm not hitting it every single day. So I do think there is a good sweet spot there. I think I just did that because, like, with myself, I'll just not do anything at all. You know, I'll just be like, all right, whatever. I'll do one video and then I'll look at my Instagram and I'll be like, shit, I haven't posted anything in like 2 months or whatever. So I think for me, I try to do one a week. A lot of the time, after that, I got like really hyped on it and I was doing like more than that, like 2, 3 a week. And then, now I don't know, I've probably skipped a little bit. But yeah, Cheney does like one every, I don't know, 3 months or something.
Probably every other month I do one. Yeah.
But it totally topples all my videos combined,
well,
obviously.
You know, it's a cool thing. It's a cool, like, I mean, just having that at our fingertips, because like Navina said, there are people who go against how things are moving. And they're like, fuck that. But then there are people who go for it. And the people who kind of go for it and embrace technology, it helps them out. And I saw this happen like 10 years ago. I remember a lot of people not even wanting to do playthrough videos in the first place. Mm-hmm. And the people who did, now we know those people, because hella people were watching their videos all the time.
I've noticed like a kind of a disconnect between the like content people and then the like band people. You know, like it seems like the band people kind of just have like their social media is just like, hey, I'm eating a pizza or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the content people are like doing really well in terms of the numbers on their whatever channel. So I don't know why more, like it's pretty few people that are in a band that approach social media as like a content person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's almost like none, really, it seems like.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't take advantage more, because it's not that hard to do one video a week. I mean, come on, man. Like I tell a lot of my friends this shit, you know, I'm like, dude, do one video a week. You'd be way bigger. Like there's no harm there. Like,
yeah,
just do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it can seem like something hard to do, especially when it comes to drummers. That seems so hard. I mean,
just to have the gear.
To have all the gear. It does cost money. It's an investment to get into the stuff, but I think that it does pay off. Like when we went on this last tour, there were people who had heard of us in the pandemic, who had heard of us because of videos that we put up, and we haven't put an album out in 5 years. Exactly. We're still...
I know.
Yeah, dude, we're still riding.
Like the only way that we are anywhere near relevant is because we decided to do, like, pretty much at the beginning of the pandemic, we're like, hey, let's just hit the internet. Fuck it, let's do this. And like, we haven't put an album out since then. Like our last album, like you said, is like 5 years old or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people would come up to me sometimes. One guy actually came up to me and was like, dude, are you Naveen from Instagram? Literally. And I'm not like some famous Instagram guy.
No, it's awesome.
I know. And I was like, stoked. I was like, he's like, oh, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh, I'm in this band. And he's like, oh shit, I didn't even know that. You know? And I was like, that's fucking sick. That means it's working. You know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And dude, people who have nothing to do with metal because of TikTok are hearing about metal like it's branching into the mainstream. So it's all a good thing.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, man. It is a thing to get into. I think it has value, and it doesn't make you like cheesy because you've decided to put videos on the internet. You know, you don't have to like make corny videos. You can just
make whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's just another creative outlet. Yeah. That's the way I look at it. And like another thing that I really like about making those little videos is it's almost like making like a little album or something, you know, and it goes out and you get that little satisfaction of like putting something out all the time. You know, it's great.
Yeah, that is really true. Yeah, I think that it's like a digital show and tell. You know, like or like a digital, what is like
talent show?
Like talent show? Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. It's like if you're good or you have a talent to share, show it. And I feel like I feel like people want to see the underdog start winning. You know, more. And I feel you can very much make that happen if you just support a musician who's a content creator. That's all it takes. It's just watching their shit, liking their video, sharing it. That's literally it. You don't have to pay for shit.
I know.
Man. And I honestly think it's one of the freaking, I say this all the time on our podcast. Like, I think it's one of the coolest things ever.
I do
you know?
too.
And I think it does separate the people who really went insane and hated, not being able to tour or whatever, to where for me, I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know. I'm kind of having a good ass time, like just making videos. And, I did have a job at the time, so that wasn't, as fun, but I had a stable thing going on, so I could work, make videos, get more into the podcast and shit like that. So, I mean, for me, I like this kind of stuff, and it feels at home for me, and I've always been into that. I mean, as soon as I found out, like, oh, you can record your own shit at home, I was all about it,
More self-sufficient.
Absolutely.
Totally. And nobody can take it away from you.
Yeah, you can be in charge of your own destiny. I mean, I think that's something that the comedy scene has done really well. They all took to podcasting years ago. And now because of that, I really think that comedy is bigger than it ever has been. And so many comedians are succeeding, and they have their own little niche groups, whether you listen to like a huge podcast like Joe Rogan, or you listen to smaller stuff like Theo Vaughn or Your Mom's House or any of that type of shit. Even though that's a huge podcast, but it's like, I know, it's like, I'm just talking about smaller than Joe Rogan, but it's like, they're a scene that I like to take example from, because they've done so well at getting their names out there, but doing it all from home, just through podcasting or whatever they can get on the internet.
Yeah. It's like, as an artist, you also struggle to survive and keep your art alive and yourself creating. And I feel like that's what that was. I think it definitely showed who couldn't stand to not create, and who kind of like might not just want to put in as much work as they realize for their passion.
That's true. That's true.
100% agree.
So have you had like a normal job recently?
Yeah, I worked. I always told everyone on my Twitch and shit, I could tell when I quit. So I was working at Marriott, where I lived, like doing like security. Actually, only a few people know that I was doing security, like graveyard shifts. That kind of sucked, but it was chill. It was chill. Great opportunity to actually just continue to work on my other shit that I was working on, because it was just so slow. And just, we all have computers in our pockets, so I just put it to use when it was like downtime after like 2 a.m. It was like nothing's happening. So I did that, and then I was working another job for like a furniture and carpet warehouse. They were developing like a stage basically to do 3D photos. So where it just like they had a turntable on a stage that just did full rotation, and they just
I got you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Snap the pictures in like quick succession. Yeah, so I was helping them build that up and stuff, and then that's when tour came a knocking, and I was like, all right, well, back to business, I guess.
Yeah. So you were doing that like for the past couple of years. That's what you've been doing.
Yeah, I was doing content full time for a bit, and I just wanted to, add some more funds to my project. So I picked up that job, and it seemed like tour was there was just so many opportunities with tour, and I just shifted again. I didn't really expect to do that that whole shift. So now I'm doing full-time content, but I'm like, a lot of it's been just getting the band ready. Like I really did need to quit that job, because I was like calls, like multiple calls, having to be on top of posting this for the tours and shit on the socials. It just was like, it's a full-time job fucking to manage a band in any degree.
Oh my God, totally is. We were just talking about, because before we moved to Nashville, Naveen and I were both working full-time. He was doing like, I don't know, 50 hours a week,
way too
with
much
driving, and I was working like 32 hours a week. And
brutal.
Right now, preparing for an album, there's no way that we would have been able to like do the touring that we want to do and prepare for the album in the way that we want to, and give it like its fair attention while doing all of that shit. It's just really hard.
Yeah.
We did our best for sure, and it did allow us to have like some extra money to buy all the gear for the podcast and whatever else we needed at the time. But yeah, I mean, that was one of the huge reasons why we wanted to move out here. Like, so we moved out here, and our costs are like, way, way less. So
nice.
Oh yeah.
I mean, now we're able to just work on the band and all the other shit all the time, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the thing. But yeah, so are you after Europe? What are you guys doing?
Chilling,
Oh, yeah.
hanging out.
I like that.
I think along the way, definitely there'll be music still coming out and stuff.
Sick.
But by after that Europe thing, so like what's it like right before Christmas time? Just I don't like touring in winter.
Yeah.
I don't either. It's so scary.
100%.
Yeah. Unless I can be guaranteed that there won't be. You ever have that moment where you don't really get a green room and like you got the sweaty shirt on and you like have to go outside real quick and to get to the van, like run and just like that whole experience, like sweaty shirt, cold weather will always keep me not wanting to tour in winter.
Dude, I remember this one show when I was in Animosity, and it was literally snowing outside, and I play drums, so usually you got to load out. And like they just took all my drums off stage and put them out in the parking lot, and then I went out there, and then door closed and locked, and it's snowing, and I was just out there like wet show clothes, like, all right, this is where we're at, dude. This is.
Don't they?
We got to fight.
Would you guys agree? Have you ever had that done to you in New York? They love to do that. I feel like with New York venues, they just dump your shit and then door closes and you're just standing there.
Oh yeah,
totally.
They love doing that.
They keep it hard.
There was
real.
There's one place I remember that was on where it was the winter, and it was in New York. It was on that Whitechapel tour that we did, where we were standing out back. Do you remember this? It was fucking below zero, and we got shut outside.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. New York loves.
Was Trevor there?
Trevor was there. He'd driven up for the show.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But now they don't catch me slipping anymore at all. What I do is I put my huge coat in my hardware case.
Oh.
And so they're like, throw all the shit out, and then I'm like, boom, big jacket, fuck you guys, dude.
Nice.
Well, I was thinking,
overcome.
Especially,
on tour.
Is OCEANO still wearing those like windbreakers on stage?
I was the only one that wore a windbreaker.
They
had they have similar imprints on their stuff, but I don't think I will.
I don't know how you can wear that shit in the middle of summer on stage, dude. That's rough.
I don't know. I just don't care about myself. Like I said, I was a wrestler, so like I'm more used to like wearing like even now like
cutting weight.
Oh yeah, sweating.
Like the whole cutting weight thing. It's just like my in my head. It's like I'm not working out unless I'm drenched in sweat.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Do you work out a lot now?
No, I do. Yes and no. I love hiking. I've been doing a lot of apparently when I drag my friends out, they say these hikes are like pretty intense, but so I think I just like intense hiking, but I think it's like not that hard. So I've been doing that a lot. I'm not like a fan of just like running on a treadmill. I like things where it's like you feel there's purpose to it besides being healthy. Even though that's important, it's like sometimes I feel easier to motivate myself when it's like I just love going out in nature and exploring. And it's like, so I'll definitely kick my ass to get to like a cool waterfall or a cave or something, but you're burning so many fucking calories, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I bet.
That's cool. Yeah, I feel that. It's kind of like going to like an air conditioned gym isn't always.
Yeah,
I know.
It's like, fuck, I'm trying to like get into it.
Dude, this has been happening to me lately at the gym because in Nashville it's so hot that they counterbalance it with the coldest air conditioning of all time. So in the gym, it's like I'm trying to work out. They've got the hugest utility fan on
like
over
Arctic.
my head. It's like I'm working out in Alaska in the coldest month, the coldest day of the year.
I've noticed though the last few days that we've been going, I'm like fucking totally sweaty though. I don't know what's up with it. Yeah. Even though it's Arctic in there.
There's something about the humidity, I guess, that just gets to you. But I like the sauna. I'm like you. I don't feel like I'm really working out unless I'm just drenched.
I don't like that.
Depleted.
Yeah, man. I love it.
Like for a while, I was like working out back in the backyard, and it's like so hot here that you could literally do like 2 push-ups, and you're like, I'm getting it, dude.
I know.
That thick air. The air is like super thick. Yeah.
It's funny because Naveen's from Northern California. So before we moved here, he was like, oh, I can't wait to live in the heat. I've always wanted a summer in my life. And it's like, okay, now do you like the fucking summer?
No, I'm down. I'm down.
Middle of it.
The only thing I will say is, like, when it gets so humid that it's just gross. Like that's the only thing that I don't like.
It's rough.
Yeah.
But if you don't have to go outside, it's kind of like living in winter. If you don't have to go outside, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Tour life can help that sometimes.
That's true.
Just stay inside for a month.
Dude. And I mean, you grew up in Chicago, so you know all about just it being so fucking cold and windy in the middle of winter. That'll take the breath out of you. So staying inside.
That's exactly what I've done. It's just tour all the way until winter, and then just don't do anything outside at all until spring.
Then you reemerge.
That's kind of the vibe right there.
Dude, it's totally the vibe.
Yeah.
I had something I was trying to remember if Animosity ever played with you guys.
No, unfortunately, but I have seen Animosity.
Okay. I think you guys might have started like right when we broke up or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
What year are you an original member of OCEANO?
Technically, no. The band started in 2006, I want to say.
Okay.
And I joined right like in 2007. So
okay. Well, we were still a band at that point.
I believe that's how it went. It's been so long. Yeah, the band started as like a like I was not associated with anyone at the time, but it was like a high school band kind of thing, So at the point when I was joining, it was like the whole band was rebuilding out of necessity, and I feel like that was the point when serious members came in that just wanted to really turn it into a band. Like everyone knew that this shit, we're going to tour, we're going to try and build this shit to be as big as it can be. That was like the when we all knew what the fuck we were doing was about when I was brought in along with like everybody else.
And so what's the lineup now? Because I know that it changed a bit since we toured together. Yeah, which is kind of a freaking long time ago at this point.
I think Andrew was the drummer.
Yeah.
So we. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, so we've Matt came in on drums after Andrew left, and then beyond that, it's been all the same. We dropped the guitars, but it's been everybody else the same. Okay. That's mostly what it was. We just dropped a guitar, so it's me, Scott, and Chris, and then Matt on drums. Yeah,
that's cool.
So, are you the only? I think you are the only member that remains from back in the day, or from when you joined.
Yep.
That's cool, man. I mean, that's kind of how bands go, especially in metal. It's hard to.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, life comes about, and.
It's not easy. I think I had the advantage because I just made that pivot in a very smooth way. Pretty much just just quit college and went into music. I wasn't deep in college either. So I didn't develop like crazy fucking debt. From going to college and stopping. It was just like. Just perfect timing. I don't know. I just hate owing people money. I had just a lot of things in the way I was living already as a kid. I just was just like perfect. And eventually my mom moved to Georgia, and that's kind of the moment when I was just like out on my own. I was like, I'm actually like a musician now. I'm no longer, bound to living, under my mom's roof. It was like second album for the band. I think that's when it was just like, all right, it's real now.
Yeah.
and just kept staying frugal. That's always a big thing, just being a fucking cheap ass. And
we talk about that a lot.
We are in total agreement with you. We don't owing anyone money. We don't do debt.
No credit cards, none of that stuff.
We own our vehicles outright. It's like that can be a huge stress on life.
I know. I look at these bands that just take on the most amount of debt. I'm just like, man, how are you guys ever gonna make any money? Just rough it for a while, man.
I know. Or you can owe a merch bill and have a bunch of merch money on you and be like, oh, I think we're just gonna pay this out to the members instead of pay the merch company. Or there are ways that you can just get yourself into a fucking hole with a band, owing money everywhere. So it's kind of important to be that kind of person and not want to owe money everywhere.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy when it comes to functioning a band in that respect.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Really not.
Well, shit,
I thought I had something. Yeah. I think that's probably it. But thank you so much, man, for sitting with us and doing the podcast. And we're super stoked to go on tour with you.
Yeah, we got to say,
Yeah.
I'm definitely hyped for that run. Like, super stoked that it's a 9-day thing.
Me
I'm going to be just spry.
And there's a day off. It's
Yeah.
like how
And the
much
drives
better.
are short and
Yeah.
stuff. I was like, this is fucking great. I love this.
Yeah.
Can we do this all the time?
I
Like,
know.
So yeah, we're looking.
Just string the runs together and turn it into a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So we're all excited to do it, and it's gonna be a fucking good time.
Yeah, it's
for
gonna
sure.
be so fun.
Glad you're able to.
Yeah,
let's do it.
thanks for having us, man. So is there anywhere before we go people should go to check you out? Drop all your stuff?
Yes. I would say most important to me would be Instagram, which is Adam on Earth _. I'm sure if you just type Adam Warren, it'll probably pop up. Or look up my band, OCEANO Metal. I'm pretty sure across all platforms. And my YouTube, which is Adam on Earth.
Fuck yeah.
Right on, man. Well, hey, dude, we're looking forward to seeing you guys, and
Yeah,
looking
can't
forward
wait
to
to
hearing
watch you guys.
new stuff too.
Yeah,
for sure,
Oh,
man.
thank you.
hella
See you
stoked.
soon.
Fuck yeah, man.
Fuck
All
yeah,
right,
man.
Have a good night,
Thanks
Adam.
again. We'll talk to you soon,
you
brother.
too.
Yeah.
All right,
See
peace.
ya.